All right, everyone, thank you for joining us for the first breakout session of day 3 of gCON. We've got an awesome presentation for you today. I'm joined by Fernand. She is the Director of Channels at Esna. I'm going to introduce her in just a minute, but before I do, and before we get into her presentation on how to get more blank done with Esna and Google Apps, I just wanted to touch on a few little notes before we get started. First of all, just like the last few breakout sessions that we've done this week, we are going to be doing questions outside of the Hangout. So we're going to have Sue hang out in the, or I guess hangout is probably the wrong choice of words there. Sue is going to be in the gCON Google Plus community for 30 minutes after her presentation to answer any questions that you might have about Esna and collaboration in Google Apps. So if you have any questions for her, please go over to the gCON Google Plus community after the presentation and submit your questions there. I'd also like to mention that there are giveaways again for this session as well. So we're giving away a Samsung Chromebook 2, and you'll also get a free t-shirt for attending one of our patented Google Guru t-shirts, and with the gCON design on it. It's going to be a great looking shirt. So if you're interested in getting your free t-shirt and entering to win the free giveaway, please stick around until the end of the session. We'll make a form available for you, and that will also serve as the attendance form for those of you who are interested in getting the gCON certificate of attendance. So I believe that's all of the housekeeping notes that I have for right now. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and pass it along to Sue. Like I mentioned, she is the Director of Channels at Esna, and she's got an awesome presentation on how you can get more work done with Esna and Google Apps. So with that, Sue, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate the introduction, and welcome everyone to our breakout session at gCON. We're excited to be a part of the event. I'm with Esna Technologies, and what we're going to talk about today, I'll just do a quick desktop share here for my presentation, is how to get more done by embedding real-time collaboration and communication tools inside of Google Apps. We're going to talk a bit about how we do that today. I will run through a quick presentation, but I'm also going to do a live demo because we at Esna are also Google users, so not only do we sell and create these tools, we also use them on a daily basis. So nothing speaks better than a live presentation. So let me hit present here, and we'll go ahead and get started. And as Andrew mentioned, I will be in the Google Plus community for about a half hour. I'll stay as long as necessary. So any questions that you guys have, feel free to ask me those after the session. I'll be there, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So what we mean by embedding real-time communication and collaboration tools inside of Google Apps, what we take is the ability to add corporate solutions that you might already be using, let's say a PBX system, or other collaboration tools like WebEx or Avaya Scopia. All of that can be easily integrated into Google so that you don't need to leave the Google Apps interface to leverage those tools. You can very easily, quickly escalate to a live communication in case that needs to be something outside of what Google natively can do, like a Hangout or an email. We also deliver presence into Google Apps as well. So presence being integration with Google Calendar. So before I go out and reach a resource, I can see via our tool their presence from Google Calendar. We're also pulling presence from their phone too, so we can show if they're on the phone or not. And then we also can monitor Hangout status too. So if someone's in a Hangout, I can actually see that through our tool. So before I go ahead and communicate with someone, I can see their real-time presence. I'm also able to very quickly initiate a click-to-call, and that can be using any endpoint. That might be my corporate PBX extension, or that could be my cell phone, or that could be a soft phone that I'm using. So, and again, I can change that around based on my location and where I am. So click-to-call is very flexible and easy for users to use and control. We also provide call control. So when calls are coming in, I know who's calling because we do synchronize contact information with Google, so we can reconcile that back to caller ID. And then I have options for how I want to control that call. So I could take it, I could send it to another individual within my organization, I could put them on hold, or maybe I'm busy, I can put that person right in voicemail. We can also integrate your greetings with Google Calendar. So for example, if I'm in a meeting or I'm away on a business trip, that can be played to the outside caller. So it actually extends my presence beyond just internal individuals within my organization. Outside callers actually know what my presence is and my availability based on my Google Calendar. We're going to show a live demo of that. We also integrate geolocation services too. So that's, again, a nice part of presence as well. So not only may I know where someone is based on their calendar or their phone or whether or not they're in a hangout, I can actually physically see where they are on a map. So not only do I know all of those great other presence tools, but I actually know physically where they are as well. We also take any voice messaging that you're receiving and integrate it into Google. So in your inbox, you also have all of your voice messages. Then you can play them. We're going to show what that experience looks like. So it can be played right back natively in Google. And if you are managing a corporate PBX and you have phones that have message waiting indication on them, the minute you do that in Google, it will turn that lamp off. So it's going to meet your needs in terms of unified messaging. And that is entirely synchronized too. So if I were to alternatively go in over the phone and check that voicemail message, it would let Google know that that happened, and it would be treated as an already read email in Google. So no need for users to be confused on where to check messaging. Everything lives in one place. They can manage all of that in one central location. We can also integrate fax. You know, fax is obviously an older technology, but people still have some real needs around it. Certainly not something anyone's looking to put more investment into, but if you're managing a fax server or you've got fax machines, we can offload that traffic onto our application. So again, the added benefit is you'll receive faxes in your inbox in Google, so that can be as an attached PDF or TIFF. And again, we can leverage Google Drive, so if there's departmental fax machines, those can now be folders on Google Drive that can be shared out with individuals that need access to those faxes. And I also can send, just like I would compose an email, a fax right out of Google. So this is all soft fax technology, no fax machines, no managing another fax server or an online e-fax service, which is an additional cost. So because we're doing all of that, I mean, we really feel like combining Esna and Google will deliver value and productivity tools to really every user, and everyone from an executive to someone in HR, because it's going to really make everyone's job easier by embedding these tools into the workflows that they're using. So not only, you know, I think everyone can benefit from knowing where resources are within an organization, but being able to really quickly respond and not waste time on getting back to someone is important really with any role within an organization. We also want this experience to be consistent across any device. So whether I'm in the office on my laptop or computer, or I'm remote using my tablet or smartphone, the experience that I have with our collaboration tools inside of Google is the same. So I'm not working differently if I'm not sitting at my desk. I have access to all of these tools. I'm going to show you in a minute, but we embed our collaboration tool, which is called iLink Pro, as a Chrome extension. So when I'm in Chrome, I have it natively there. So anytime I'm logged into Chrome, I have access to it. So it's very easy for me to easily access my collaboration tools. We also have a mobile app, and that can run on any device. We do support Android, obviously, iPhone, Windows Mobile, BlackBerry, whatever devices your users have, they can use our mobile app. So when I'm in the field, I still have the ability to have things like call control and presence and even click to call. But it's looking like that call's initiating from our corporate environment, not from my private, cell phone number. So it, again, ties that back into corporate. So everything is still flowing through corporate. So it's delivering that unified messaging, fax, presence, voice, geolocation, all of that is part of, my experience for communicating no matter where I am. So this is what the message experience looks like inside of Gmail. So, a lot of things are going on here. It is a nice integrated solution. Again, I mentioned before, we're synchronizing Google contacts. So when someone leaves me a voicemail, provided the number that they called me from is in my contacts, that will reconcile that information. So it's not just showing me that this is a message from a phone number. It actually knows that this is from Andreas. And I am able to communicate back with Andreas by using Google integrated tools. So I might launch a Hangout or send him an email, or I may need to make a traditional phone call to Andreas. It will show me all the numbers that are associated to his profile, so I can very easily do a click to call. If I'm using another collaboration tool like WebEx, I could launch an instant web conference, and Andreas would receive a link to join that, and it would launch my WebEx client right away. The message experience can be different based on what your requirements are as well. That could be just an attached MP3 that can be natively played in Google, or that could be a link if you're concerned about security, and that would just stream the audio. We can also add some enhanced services like transcription. So in addition to having audio, you would also have the transcribed message as well. So I don't even need to open this now to know that what this message is. I can actually just read the content. We can also make the voice messages actionable. So if I want this as pure web content, I can open this up, and again, I can see this as pure web content. And I have some other options as well. Again, we've added some Google tools here too. So I can immediately launch a Hangout from here too. So Lee's left me a voicemail. Maybe I want to now immediately have a Hangout. I could also share this message on Google+. Maybe I want to post this to a community within Esna. Maybe it's a message from a happy customer. I want to share that with everyone at Esna. I can post that. We've even had the ability to add other social environments like Twitter. So this message has more value than just a voice message. Now I actually have the ability to collaborate on it as well. And of course, I always have the ability to escalate to a live call. And it's also adding our presence tools in here too. So I can see that Lee is available, but he's mobile. I can also physically see where Lee is on a map. So before I go ahead and reach out to him, I know that he's available, and I know that he is on his mobile device. For the faxing component, again, you can send and receive faxes right from Gmail. So these come in. No longer do you have to manage a fax machine or worry about some antiquated fax server. It's delivered right into Gmail. And again, you can leverage Google Drive, and these could be shared folders, or I can archive my faxes right to Google Drive. So it just gives me a way to manage that all natively within Google without having to leave and have to send a fax from a different application. I can do this right within Gmail. When I'm saving messages, fax, or voice, obviously I can do that right in Google Drive because it comes in as an attachment. So I can automatically save these in Google Drive. So if I need to have some sort of a repository for messages from customers, or again, maybe these are messages that I want to hang on to and share with other individuals at Esna, I can do that. And again, I can obviously replay that recorded voice message right from Google Drive. And if it's transcribed, I can save the transcription as a separate attachment as well and save it as a Google Doc. Because we're integrating with Google Calendar, we can even do different or intelligent call routing based on your Google Calendar. So for example, if I'm in a meeting, I can have a different way of being located. So maybe when I'm in a meeting, I want my calls to go to my cell phone versus my desk phone, or maybe I want my status to automatically go to unavailable. Same thing for business trips. If I'm away on business, I can have my calls maybe going to my mobile device for that duration of time, and when I'm back in the office, all my calls are going to go to my desk phone. So this is all synchronized on the back end with Google Calendar, and I do have the ability at any given time to override my calendar and just manually set my location or availability. So I always have the ability to do an ad hoc session if I need to. We also have the ability to add any phone number or extension to your profile, so I really can take and make calls from anywhere. I can even create a temporary location. So if I find myself, working at a different office and someone's lent me an extension or a desk phone for the day, I can make that my temporary location and take and receive calls. So again, real flexibility in terms of being able to work from anywhere. For rich presence, and I'm going to show this live, because we're syncing with Google Calendar, the phone system, Hangouts, you really can see what other users, what their true availability is. And even if they're offline, you still have the ability to make a phone call to them. So I might be searching someone within our collaboration tool, but they're not online. So a Hangout, it's not going to be an option for me. But now I can make a traditional phone call to them. I could even see if they were on the phone, because that would monitor their activity from the phone system or from their mobile application too. If they're running our mobile app and you're on the phone, it actually will publish in our collaboration client that you're on the phone as well. But again, the nice thing about it is you can do this all automatically based on Google Calendar. Of course, you always have the ability to override, but if your calendar's up to date, you can just have this all done automatically from your Google Calendar. We also integrate with Google Drive. So when I have an active document open in Google Drive, I can see who I've shared that with via Google Drive. And again, before I decide to start a collaboration session around it, I can see those users and if they're online or available. Again, obviously if they're users within my domain and within my organization. And then I can choose how I want to communicate. I could start a Hangout that would send a link to join to everyone that I've shared this document via collaboration or via Google Docs. Or if maybe some of these users are not Esna and I'm not sure if they're Google users, I can start a WebEx alternatively, and that would send them all a link to join and launch my WebEx client. So I have lots of choices around how I want to collaborate on a document in Drive, and again, I can very quickly see who I've shared this with. If I'm using Google Maps, I also have these tools embedded inside of Google Maps. So if I've located Andreas, I see where he is on a map, then you see I've got the ability to make a call, do an IM to him, or I have more options too. So not only can I see where someone is, but we're going to embed those live communication tools inside of Google Maps as well. I'm going to, instead of showing you this through, let's go back to my screen and show you what this looks like live. So again, I mentioned earlier, obviously we at Esna are Google users, so live in this interface. Try not to leave it if I don't have to, but I don't need to because I've got all of my tools integrated into here. So Lee has left me a voicemail message. I've got my iLink Pro Chrome extension running, so that's our application. So anytime I'm logged into Chrome, I have access to it. We do also have the ability to deliver this as a slide bar across any web content. So my status right now is showing me as being in a meeting and unavailable because it's pulling that from Google Calendar. But if I needed to override that, I could at any time. But I've got it integrating automatically with Google Calendar. So if someone was searching me, they would see that I'm in a meeting right now for the next 45 minutes. If someone calls me, they would also hear that in my greeting, and they would also know that what time I was available again, and they could leave me a message or choose to speak with another resource within the organization. So I have the ability to have that natively here, again, from the Chrome extension. When a voicemail message comes in, it's in my inbox, and I've got every feature turned on for demonstration purposes, so I could just have an easy, quick MP3 file that just natively plays. When you get a chance, can you give me a call? Thanks. I also have transcription turned on, so really I didn't even need to open that. I could have just read that message right there and go ahead and give Lee a call back. We can also have the transcription, if you're using that feature, attached as a text. So again, I can always quickly add either one of these to Google Drive. Or if people want this via pure web content, we can just deliver this as pure web content. So if I click on this, it's going to automatically play the message for me. Hi, Sam, it's Lee. When you get a chance, can you give me a call? Thanks. And again, right from here, I could start a Hangout with Lee. If I click on Lee, it's going to show me his presence. So I know that Lee's available. He's in the office, so I could email him from here, or I could also initiate a call, or again, I could do a Hangout. So this is all, a customizable based on what the user's needs are. I also have another Chrome extension running because we are also WebEx users. I know a lot of other individuals use that as a tool as well. We can also integrate with other collaboration tools like Avaya Scopia. But I've got this running here, so again, I see it consistently throughout Google. So if I hover over users, I can launch an instant one. More importantly, I can do that from Google Calendar. So if I need to set up a meeting and I schedule this on my calendar, I have the choice. So I could choose to schedule a WebEx, or I could use a Google Hangout. So I have the ability to do either or. When I'm scheduling a WebEx, it's allowing me to have any templates I've created ahead of time. And once I do this, it just embeds the invite into the description of the Google Calendar invite. So one click and I've done it. I don't need to leave here and go to the WebEx portal and set up the meeting and copy the content, nice and easy. If I change this meeting time on Google Calendar, it will automatically update the WebEx booking on the back end. So again, nice and easy, no need for me to change that, and it's easy for me to book that resource right from Google Calendar. Because I do have some open documents here on Google Drive, if I were to go in to Google Drive, I'll see that these documents are open, and I have the ability to choose how I want to communicate or collaborate on them. So I can see who they're shared with, and then I have the ability to choose what type of a collaboration session I want within Google Drive. We also have audio conferencing available too, and we do use that at Esna. So if I need to have an audio conference with someone, alternative, I can launch that right from here too. I can see other users within Esna, so if I wanted to start a WeLink conference service, I could do that too. We also do notifications through our Chrome extension when people are dialing into your bridge. So for example, if I call into mine now, it will show me through my iLink Pro Chrome extension that someone's joining the conference, and it will synchronize with my contact information on Google. So it will show me who's calling into the conference and who's joining the conference. So I can see who's joining my conference, who's left my conference. At the end of that audio conference, it will also email me a transcript and show me who's logged in, how long participants were on there. So I always have a Meet Me conference session open and available to me at any given time. The click-to-call function we can also extend outside of Google. So again, you know, traditionally I'm living here, but if I needed to make a phone call from web content, I can do that also. So if I need to click to call from here, I can. So anytime you're on a web page and there's phone numbers, you'll have your quick and easy access to do a click to call also. In terms of call control, when users are calling me, I'm going to see that a call is coming in through the Chrome extension, and I have options for how I want to manage the call. So I'll go ahead and just initiate a quick call to myself. I'm going to put my speaker on so you guys can hear this.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Esna Technologies.
So I hit my extension.
You, Fernand, is in a meeting and will be available after today at 2 p.m. Please leave a message.
So it told me, the outside caller, that I'm in a meeting and I'll be available again today at 2. And I can see that Sue Fernand is calling me and now leaving me a message. So if I wanted to, I could pull this call out live.
Your party is now available.
And now the call will come in as a live call, and I'll have all my live call control actions. So even if you're in a situation where you're not available, like me right now, I'm in a meeting, but I may see that, you know, Sue Fernand is calling and I need to talk to this person, I can decide to take that call out live. So you'll always know when calls are coming in, but you can ignore the call if you're busy. You can even turn off your sounds if you're in an unavailable situation, so you really won't be disturbed by it other than seeing that someone's calling you, and that way if you do need to take that call live, you certainly can. And I always have all of these collaboration tools available to me in the Google People card. So if I hover over a user, I can again launch a quick WebEx from here or click to call from here. So we embed those tools into the Google People card as well. So I always have access to my collaboration tools. Let's go back to our presentation here. And the conversations, obviously, because of the slide bars, they stay persistent. So if I navigate away from Google and I'm on another web page and I slide out the iLink Pro bar, anything I was doing, so maybe that was an active call that I was controlling or I was looking up another individual via the directory, I'll see that same experience. So even if you do navigate away from Google, that conversation or anything you're doing within our application, that does stay persistent. And again, persistent on my mobile device too. So I have an Android, I've got a Samsung Galaxy. If I'm using my iLink Pro mobile client, which I use daily, I see that same experience on there as well. For the audio conferencing, we mentioned this before, it's just SIP-based audio conferencing, again, added to our application. So, again, we're not running a separate server for this. It will show you when people are logging in, and again, it's synchronizing with Google Contacts, so you're going to get notifications that someone's joining your meeting. I think we're almost nearing the end of our session here, so I did want to make sure that you guys were aware of just some resources to get some more information about how we do this. We can really work with any phone system. So we're a SIP-based platform, so anything you've got running, Cisco, Avaya, ShoreTel, Mitel, these are some of the big ones. We can even support a multi-PBX environment. So anything you're using, we can integrate those tools within Google. Google.esna.com is our landing page. That has a ton of information about how we do this, what kinds of tools are available to you, and some other things that we can provide integration to. That's my email if you have questions. I am going to be in the gCON community after this, so I will be available to take questions live. And then we do encourage you to follow us on all of our social media. Obviously, we have a Google Plus page, Twitter account, Facebook, YouTube, which has a ton of video content about the different solutions we offer for collaboration and communication in Google Apps. So we would love for you to check us out on there. And I will, I guess at this point, Andrew, turn it back over to you. And again, encourage you guys to fill out that form so that you can register to win a Samsung Chromebook. And I appreciate your time today, and I thank you for allowing me to present to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sue. That was a great presentation, and I think it's pretty clear that there's a ton of different features available with Esna across a number of different platforms. So I'm sure a lot of you have questions about exactly what's available to you with Esna and how you can leverage that to take Google Apps even further and get more get more work done. So with that, I want to go ahead and make the form available for this session. Like Sue said, this is how we can take down your information to make sure that you're eligible for the free giveaway. So you'll get a free gCON t-shirt just for filling out the form. And we're also going to be giving away a Samsung Chromebook 2 to one lucky attendee. So fill out the form, and hopefully we'll be sending a Chromebook your way. I want to, before we sign off here, I wanted to thank Sue as well for a great presentation. I definitely learned a lot about Esna and the number of different options that are available. So Sue, thank you again for a great presentation.
Excellent. Thank you for having me, Andrew.
No problem. Before I sign off, I want to just let you guys know we have one more presentation today, one more breakout session today. So if you can, and if you haven't already, please register for Zendesk session. It's how the changing nature of IT is moving support out of the basement. So it's a great presentation on how IT is really changing the nature of support. So if you haven't, please register for that session. And like Sue mentioned, she will be available in the gCON Google Plus community to take as many questions as you all have. There should be a lot of great questions there. And once again, if you haven't already filled out the form, you can do so on the right-hand side of your screen from the link in the Showcase app. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you in about 30 minutes for our next breakout session. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.